The biggest story we're tracking at this hour, an attack on a Syrian military academy killed 112 people. The site was bombed with drones minutes after Syria's defense minister left a graduation ceremony. The state media blamed terrorist organizations for the strike in government-held homes. Separately, Turkish air raids in the country's Kurdish-held northeast killed at least 11 people, according to Kurdish forces. Ankara had threatened retaliation for a bomb attack. As per official news agency, armed terrorist organizations targeted the graduation ceremony for officers of the military academy in the central city of Homs. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a Britain-based monitor, reported 112 dead, including 21 civilians, 11 of whom were women and girls. It is said at least 120 people were wounded. Health Minister told state television the preliminary toll was 80 dead, including 6 women and 6 children, and around 240 wounded. The military stated that the attack was carried out with explosive-laden drones and vowed to respond with full force. The government declared 3 days of mourning starting Friday. In the rebel-held Idlib region, residents reported heavy bombardment by government forces in apparent retaliation. The observatory said 8 people had been killed and some 30 wounded. Swaths of Idlib province are controlled by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, led by Al-Qaeda's former Syria branch. The group has used drones to attack government-held areas in the past. The spokesperson for the United Nations chief said that they were deeply concerned about the drone attack and the retaliatory shelling. In a statement Thursday evening, Turkish Defense Ministry said that Ankara forces had carried out airstrikes in northern Syria, destroying 30 targets, including shelters, depots and storage sites. The Kurds' internal security forces said Turkey had carried out 21 strikes in the area, killing 11 people, including 5 civilians and 6 security personnel. Pentagon spokesperson told reporters that US F-16 warplanes over Syria had shot down a Turkish drone. The Turkish drone was deemed a potential threat after it approached less than a half kilometer from US forces near Hasaka. Now, Turkey had carried out repeated strikes on targets in Syria's Kurdish-held northeast. On Wednesday, Ankara warned it would step up its cross-border air raids after concluding that militants who staged a weekend attack in the Turkish capital had come from Syria. Now, the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces led the battle that dislodged Islamic State group fighters from their last scraps of territory in Syria in 2019. Turkey views the Kurdish People's Protection Units that dominate the Syrian Democratic Forces as an offshoot of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, listed as a terror group by Ankara and its Western allies. Turkey has launched strikes on Kurdistan Workers' Party positions in northern Iraq since Sunday's attack in Ankara, which wounded 2 security officers and was claimed by the Kurdish group. Now, the spokesperson for the Syrian Democratic Forces said that the strikes had targeted military and civilian sites. He said there has been a clear escalation since the Turkish threats. The Kurdish administration urged the international community to take a stand capable of dissuading Turkey from its attacks. The United States, Russia and Turkey all have troops in the country. Between 2016 and 2019, Turkey carried out 3 major operations in northern Syria against Kurdish forces. The conflict in Syria has killed more than 500,000 people since it began in 2011 with a brutal crackdown on anti-government protests. The crackdown spiraled into a devastating war, including foreign armies, militias and jihadists.